Day in the Life with Open 19 Foundation. Here is Zach Smith with Packet.
Hey there, my name's Zach. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Packet, and we automate bare metal server infrastructure for our 15,000 clients around the world.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for doing this today. Zach, we are glad to have you here and to learn a little bit more about your perspective on Open 19.
My pleasure.
So the first question I wanted to ask you is, why do you feel that Open 19 needs to happen?
So we're very focused on a niche of what we like to call subscale. We think a lot of the hardware innovation in the world has been built around hyperscale users or what I'm going to call traditional enterprises. And we feel that there's a new market emerging where people have to put a little bit of infrastructure in lots of places. Let's call that dozens or hundreds of servers, maybe in dozens or hundreds of locations. And why I think Open 19 is so important is because it allows a community to work on lowering the cost and improving the efficiency of the rack infrastructure and how you deliver your computing opinion, but still allow kind of independent innovation, whether that's through chip manufacturers, OEMs, supply chain, customers themselves, on the computers themselves. So this is about how we can work as a community to improve the deployment and the efficiency of the rack level infrastructure and get to the value of our computers quicker.
Cool. Okay, so speaking of community, how do you feel that Open 19 differs from other open hardware initiatives?
Right. Well, there's not that many open hardware initiatives, so at least we're kind of continuing a proud tradition. I think what's unique about Open 19 is that it's really meant for the everyman or every woman in that you don't have to be a hyperscaler to take advantage of Open 19 infrastructure. It works in standard 19-inch racks. You get to benefit from some of the amazing work done by people like Yuval at LinkedIn, where you're bringing true innovation to the rack level, but you in your standard 19-inch enterprise data center can take advantage of it. So the really cool thing is you get to mix small users, people who are using literally one rack of hardware, with hyperscale users, people who are doing 5,000 racks of hardware, and you all get to work on the same problems together, which is how do you improve the efficiency of that kind of last 100 feet, getting compute infrastructure, regardless of the vendor, into the racks and operating more efficiently.
So it sounds like a lot of people could benefit from this, but who do you feel would benefit the absolute most, and how do you feel like Packet's going to help play a role in creating that benefit?
Yeah, well, there's more and more companies that are relying upon kind of somewhat specialized hardware. People who are saying, listen, I really have compute opinion because I have strong software opinion. Those are software companies, enterprises, other service providers that are building or operating highly specific compute networks that are there to deliver their own software opinion. And that's driving people, especially with the kind of like flattening of Moore's law, that's driving people into kind of smaller amounts of more specialized hardware. So it's my opinion that SaaS companies and enterprises who are trying to act like SaaS companies, service providers to their own users, are going to be the ones who can take advantage of this. The reason why that is because most enterprises and SaaS companies don't have 100,000 servers that look the same. They have 5,000 servers that are all a little bit different, or they do 50 servers that have GPUs in them, and 10 that have high-speed NICs, and some that have a lot of NVMe, and so they have a lot of diversity in their deployments. And so instead of going towards maybe a more hyperscale approach and saying everything should be homogeneous, what Open 19 is really helping these enterprises do is kind of normalize and bring efficiency to a more heterogeneous compute world. And I think that's a reality for almost every enterprise on the planet.
Great. Awesome. Well, we thank you for your time today, Zach, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll talk to you again soon, I hope.
I'm going to go tinker on some hardware.
Sounds perfect.
All right.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.